Next up on Slinging Paint, Breachstorm by Breachstorm Entertainment. We'll catch everybody in the workshop. Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. This is the Paint Slinger. My name is James, and we are looking to the, let's see here, Breachstorm. Let's see if we can get that kind of either in the big one. There we go, Breachstorm. There we go. Okay, so the last video that I did, as I showed you how to put these guys together, it was actually pretty cool. The resin goes together nice and easy. It's actually really nicely detailed, and if you know how to put your resin together, they're actually not that bad. And being in true scale, things are going to be a lot smaller than if you play other games like Warhammer or whatever. Because I mean, if we take a look here, we'll use the sample guy that I have. Let's grab Mr. Marine back here. So if we take a look, there is your typical everyday Space Marine getting out there ready to kick ass and stuff like that. And you can see how big the weapons are, in relation to his hands and stuff like that. It doesn't look out of scale. It doesn't look too bad. It's pretty good. So that's your everyday typical, Space Marine from Games Workshop. And hero scale just means that details are a little bit more blown up, a little bit bigger, so that you can so that you can actually see the guns. You can see all that kind of cool detail, the stuff on Breachstorm. They're a little bit different, and I actually kind of like that. They are true scale, which means that everything kind of looks the way it should be if it was just your average, ordinary, everyday guy. You can see right there, with the weapon is the weapon's a little bit smaller. The details, even though they are crisp, they're definitely a lot smaller, and I give kudos to the guys that sculpted this. These things are amazing. These things are going to be a blast to paint and work on, and you can see that I've already gone ahead and I've done one guy as a test, just to see, how much work and stuff was going to be involved. And it wasn't too terribly bad, actually. I actually quite thoroughly enjoyed doing it. As a matter of fact, I'm even doing one of the other, right now I'm doing one of the other members from the core set. The TheRatHole, as I believe is how it's pronounced. I could be wrong, but I asked them and they said it was basically phonetically spelt, and comes up what is it? ZHREN apostrophe THRAR. So if it's phonetically spelled, and I'll kind of show you here. Big cam right there. And so to me it would be TheRatHole, as and these are a race of feline looking fellas, so they have tigers and leopard looking skins and what have you. They're really cool, and I'm actually really excited to break into these guys. But I figured, for the first video, just to get an idea of how these things get, how these are put together, and just how it goes, that I would start with a slightly easier to paint army, and that is the Homeworld Confederacy, which are these cool red guys, right? And let's see if I can, do that again. right there. You know, your run-of-the-mill typical human fella. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to basically batch paint these guys here, because they're, you know, they're all the same. They're all red. There's not a lot of variance to them, or there doesn't have to be if you don't want to, and that's why I'm going to make these guys. I'm going to make these guys look like they're one giant conglomeration. So everybody should look like that test model, hopefully, when we're done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys right here. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they are on my board. Oh, there we go. Right here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these guys. They're all built. Well, they're mostly built. Well, what I do is I've actually I super glued most of it together, but I left one arm free. I've fun tacked it into place, but it's one arm free so that I can actually take them apart and then get in there. But we'll go through that once we've done all of our batch painting, and we'll kind of work through how we've done stuff. All right. So next time you see me, which will be just in a couple of seconds, these guys should be primed red. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the Citadel Mephiston Red spray right there. There you go. Or better yet, I'll show you right down here, the big one. Yeah, Citadel Mephiston Red model paint, but it's a spray, and that'll very quickly get these guys to the red that I want. And then after that, we're going to start painting them. All right. So we'll catch you guys in a few seconds. When that's all ready, well, it's time to paint some armies. All right. See you soon. All right. Welcome back. I told you, by the magic of television or internet video, they are now primed. Oh, there we go. They are now primed red. And we are ready to start our paint. Let's see if we can. There you go. Now we're ready to start our paint. So what we're going to do first is we are going to give them a wash. And the wash is basically just a way to help you pick out all the details. So we are going to use this fancy dancy wash color called Agrax, or Agrax Earthshade. And of course the camera is having a hard time picking up. And anyway. It's weird, eh? Some days it'll pick it up. There you go. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply it all over the model. The model has small enough detail and small enough, and because it's, you know, true to scale kind of stuff, that it's going to be difficult to do a pin wash or to do just a recess wash. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we are going to put that on there, bam, so you can see what I'm doing. Put that right out of the way. I don't know if you can still see. I can kind of see what I'm doing. And we'll just pick a dude at random. Here, pick this guy right here. He looks pretty cool. And don't worry about, don't worry about the face being all red either. This will come through. And all you do is you literally just slather it on, making sure that you work it into all the little creases and all the little spots. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to do the head now, because we're going to wash the head with something, something different later on when we get going. Of course, my cap is falling down. So the reason why this is called batch painting is because you're literally going to try and do all 10 of these guys at the same time. So we'll bring this up here a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. So what you do want to do is you want to try to work around all the creases, even on the gun. Just working around. Don't be afraid to goop it on there. There's always a way that you can take stuff off. Find that you have too much. There we go. And that's the first one done. Only 5 more to go. Now, depending on what depending on the overall color that you want, maybe you don't want to use the earth shade. Maybe you want to go with something a little bit darker. Maybe you want to go with something that'll give you a more, more actual red tone. So there's, you can use the Nuln Wash, or you can use the Kernberg Crimson. All these colors, again, are from Citadel. There are different lines out there that you can use. So just because these are what I use doesn't mean that's what you got to use. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Slinger has his favorite colors, has his favorite paint range. Doesn't mean that what I'm using is necessarily right for you, but they're right for me. So don't be stuck into following the colors that I'm using. Okay. And the more you add in, the deeper and darker the crevices will look. It's funny. Every time I think I got this angle licked, it starts to look funny. It's like, yeah, I got it. Everybody can see what I'm doing, and then I take a look up in the monitor and see how I'm going. And it's like, nobody can see nothing. I apologize for everybody out there. I don't mean to do that. Like I said, the other side, the other core set that they have are the Zarenthahar Pride, and they're basically a bunch of very feline, actually not very feline, they are a feline looking faction, and I have a very big soft spot for most anything that's cat, big cat, small cat, whatever. I got 4 little house lions here myself, so as I said, I'm kind of excited to dig into that faction for myself. I think they'll look amazing. Also stretch my painting skill. Yes, there are plenty of things that the old Slinger here can't do, or hasn't learned to do yet, I should say. I can't say can't do them, but haven't learned to do them yet. And one of those is to paint fur patterns. As a matter of fact, fur patterns are quite the obstacle, personal obstacle for me. Doesn't mean I won't learn or can't learn. It just means I haven't done it yet. And I don't want to wreck my miniatures. Or at least what I consider to be wrecking my miniatures. They're probably not wrecked at all. Remember what I said? There ain't nothing you can fix, or there's nothing you can fix with a little bit of paint. So even if I messed up somehow, I can just go over it with more paint. And that's what I gotta keep reminding myself too. I get scared of a project, or there's a project I don't think I can do. I kind of don't do it. Or I should say I put it off. It's not that I don't do it. I just put it off and put it off. And, you know, like a lot of us hobbyists out there, we get struck down, or we get struck with shiny model syndrome. That's when the newest and greatest miniatures are released from whatever game line we happen to like. For me, it's Games Workshop, and Games Workshop is always releasing new and cool miniatures. And I can't keep up. I have several armies I'd like to paint, and well, kind of take a peek behind my shoulder here in a second, and I'll show you just a little bit of the backlog that I have. Okay, so the idea with batch painting is that you do one color, and then you go on to the next. You know, you do one color for one guy, or for your guys, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to cycle through all of your guys, because by the time you're done one, hopefully the first, or get to the last one, hopefully that first one that you did is dry and ready to go to the next stage. If not, well, you might have to, go and make yourself a sandwich, or watch an episode of something on Netflix while you wait for the first guy to dry. Hopefully, it's maybe a 20-minute episode of some sitcom or some cartoon that you've been watching. Okay. So now I have all 6 inked down. You see, they are a lot, they're a lot darker now than they were before. Now I know it's going to seem kind of counterintuitive what I'm going to do next, but trust me, it'll look pretty badass. Alright, so the inking is done. Or the washing, or the shading, or whatever term you want to use. A lot of old-time gamers, well, we had paints called inks, and because of that, a lot of people still use that term. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fist on red, but not in the spray, but by hand. And this is, kind of where it gets a little, excuse me, a little tedious, because this is supposed to help make it a little bit faster. Well, it does, because I'm already on the second step, and we haven't been working that long. We built them, primed them black, spray painted them red. Now we've gone back and we washed them. And the reason why we washed them is just to help pick out the details that are there, and they're so lovely and hidden. So now I'm going to take, not my medium glaze. I don't want my medium glaze. That would be the wrong one. There we go. Medium layer brush. I'm going to take the Breachstorm red. Hopefully our first guy is relatively dry. Let's give him a look over and see. That is actually not bad. There's a couple pools here and there. We can work around those. Maybe give it a... See up here? Out of frame? Can't see what I'm doing. Feel kind of funny. Lean away down here so that you can see what I'm doing. What I'm doing is giving him just a little bit of a... blowing on him a little bit, helping him the stuff dry. But right now we'll just avoid those areas for now. What we're going to do is we're going to take the Breachstorm red. Add a little bit of water. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pick out the armor panels. Careful to not get all the way back into those recesses. I mean, we just spent, what, 10 minutes? Maybe. Making sure that the details will be nice and sharp and come out. Now with yours, you can be as picky as you want. You can make sure that every panel line is seen and every segment is shown. Probably not going to be quite that picky. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be pretty picky because these guys are awesome and I want them to look as fantastic as I can. Now I know that I'm just kind of hopping around, picking up random panels here and there, but again, that's how the old Slinger works. Just kind of goes willy-nilly over the model. Picks out stuff here and there. Don't worry, it'll all get picked out and done, and it will be awesome. So again, I want to thank Breachstorm Entertainment for providing these models for me to look over and put some paint on these things. I was kind of captured by the idea, but I wasn't quite sure what they were going to be made of. I didn't know much. Then I got this fantastic little box in the mail, and boom, there were some Homeworld Confederacy and some TheRatHole for the Slinger to get in there and paint up. And I tell you, I couldn't be happier. These things look fan-freaking-tastic. It's So they're just nice to work with, nice to build. Not to mention the game is actually a really interesting game to. The backstories, at least, are interesting to get your hooks into and read. And if you haven't read them, most of the stuff is, or all the stuff right now, is at least on Breachstorm.com. If you have a chance, give it a read, give it a whirl. Huh. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time. Just coming through and picking out details. You know what? In the end, it's going to look worth it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to make your miniatures look amazing. And what's better than an amazing set of miniatures on the battlefield? A good paint job will make any miniature look pretty good. Good paint job on great miniatures. Make them look that much better. And that's what I got here. I got some great miniatures. So after I'm done with these, we have a fantastic guy that reviews the games, and he'll take the miniatures and he'll throw down, and he'll tell you what's what about the game. Well, what I've read about the rules, what I've read about the backstories and everything like that, it's pretty tight. You can even choose to not re-brighten the stuff out if you don't want to. You can just throw down the ink, or the wash, I should say, and leave it as is. You don't have to go through all the painstaking work that I'm going through. You don't even have to paint if you don't want to. But I want to. I know you guys love to see me pull out my hair and go, God, why did I get into this? I do it for you guys. No, well, I do it for you guys, but I do it because I love miniatures. I love building them. I love painting them. All right. I've probably missed parts, but Can't really tell. And that's our first. So this is stage 3. If the there you go. It's kind of hard to tell, but what I've gone is I've gone through and I've started picking out the red on the weapons and on the armor. And this guy's a little different. He doesn't have a helmet on, so he's going to be separate from everybody else after I get the armor done. Because we have a head to do. And it's an amazing sculpt. Like, the head is just fantastic. So what we're going to do is, the next video, we're going to continue, picking out some of the guys here. Maybe what we'll even do is we'll leave some of the guys just, spray painted or spray primed, spray based. We'll put the wash on, and you know what? I think we're just going to leave them. We're just going to start picking out some details. Not on everybody, but on a few of them, just so we have. That would be my time's up, at least for this portion of the video. But let's not worry about that. Let's keep it going just for a second, so I can let you guys know that next time, yeah, we're gonna maybe leave one or two of the guys a little bit more grungy, a little bit more dirty. We're not gonna pick out all the details or pick out all the armor with the Mephiston red again, and we're gonna see how it goes. All right. So until then, paint safe, everybody, and we will see you again shortly.